What is going on, everyone? It's OxxyOG, and today we're going to kill Mythic Loom'ithar. So we are running pure single target Slayer here for this boss. Taking Sack of Terror and Arakara Sack Brood are my trinkets. This boss is great. I am running pure single target, like I said, but just so that you know, my group has enough cleave damage for the tangles that are enclosing in. There's two that you need to kill that I didn't really need to swap them unless just a one-off scenario. I just want to mention that it's entirely reasonable for your raid lead to ask you to hard swap to these tangles because they need to die, and if your group's just not putting out the damage needed, then you're going to need to swap. But I was mostly letting my Bladestorm and my Reap procs, let them take care of it. So let's go over the mechanics here. First is going to be the tangles that enclose in. So you're going to have two rings that close. Your tanks are going to do like a tank swap. First tank is going to break one of the tangles so that it's able to be hit. And then your second tank is going to hit another one, and basically your group just needs to hit them before they enclose on you and kill you. So a little bit of a DPS check there, similar to Aranog from a previous raid, anyone that's played that fight.
I normally wouldn't.
Now, during this, you're going to get circles on the ground that you need to dodge, so watch your feet. All that being said, the main times that you're going to want to use the defensive is when you get linked in by... it's like the tether, the strand that you're going to get hooked to that you need to run out and break. A couple of things that we did here. So you see our blue marker is over by the entrance. That is where we start putting our webs when we break our tether. So I usually popped my big defensive if I got hit by or attached by a tether and needed to just leap it out, and I would leap to the next available space from the blue square clockwise. From the first web that was split, or if I was the first web, I'd drop it on blue. So that was how we did that, and that goes really, really well into the second phase, the second 50% of the boss. Now, with that said, really the only dangerous part of the fight, in my opinion, is that, and I would strongly consider using your Enraged Regeneration if you're a warrior or just a big defensive for it if you get tethered there. Another part of this fight that's going to happen is these pylons around the room in like the 4 different sections. They're gonna light up. Now your group should be assigning multiple soakers for these. I was assigned with our rogue, and I was our even soaks, and then we had 2 other people that would be the odd soaks. So if the pylon turned on the first time, odd soak person number 1 stands and holds it until they get 8 stacks. That's that electrical beam. You just stand in line with the boss from it, or else the boss will pulse mad damage. So you stand in line, you soak it, you soak it, you soak it, and then at 8 stacks, soaker 2 of the odd group would then go in and take the other 8 stacks, and then it goes away. Then if that same pylon lit up for the next time that they come on, then the even soakers, which would be me and the rogue, would do it. The rogue would stand there for 8 stacks, and I had a weak aura that would show me how many stacks he was at, and then I would just swap one at 8. So this is really important. I was assigned to always do triangle, and you typically will have one of the markers around the 4 different spots on the room. I always did triangle, so I was always hovering triangle. So that's the majority of phase 1, and most of what's gonna be scary and might kill you. Obviously, don't stand in webs, don't stand in the big circle, don't greed damage too much, make sure that you have leap if you're going to be leaping out. Okay, so going into phase 2, the boss is going to take a lot of increased damage when you hit 50%. Going to drop down on the floor and start putting big purple goo everywhere on the ground. It's going to be up to your tanks to slowly kite the boss around the room. What the boss is going to be doing is doing pushbacks with circles around everyone. That is going to make it so you have to spread or else you'll die. The way that we played this was we had ranged because they can pre-spread very well rather than being all up on melee. We had them pre-spread where the webs are, in between the webs and the boss, because it's much easier for them to spread, and we had melee go ahead, clockwise around the room, ahead from the group. Ranged take the first big gigantic soak from the boss, and then melee take the second soak. Then ranged take it, then melee take it. Really just as simple as that. First, we were doing melee up by the webs and ranged far ahead. But what we were finding is that it was so hard to get melee to be able to soak because they were getting pushed back into the webs. So we realized, oh wait, ranged can stand wherever they want. Let's put them where the webs are and put melee way up clockwise around the room ahead of the webs so they have plenty of room. So that was something that we did that really made this fight a lot easier. We killed it like in 2 pools after we made that change. You're going to pump on this boss. You want to make sure that you have some kind of cooldown for the 50%, but depending on when you push and everything, like don't hold your avatar for too long. Just feel it out. You're going to have multiple pools to see what like your damage profile is going to be like. You'll figure it out, but just don't hold cooldowns for too long, but also remember you get a huge damage amp in this phase, so having cooldowns for it is pretty important. Aside from that, like, don't take 2 soaks in a row unless your raid league calls for you to take it, because if not, then like the whole group might wipe. Even if you die, sometimes that's worth it. And then just make sure that you're pre-spreading. Like, think about it. Oh, a pushback's coming. I need the pre-spread. I need the pre-spread, because even though as warriors we're very tanky, it's nice to be very tanky, but you got to think about your teammates too. And even though you'll live it, if you get pushed back on top of somebody, you're probably going to kill them. So you really need to take into account squishier specs, like, I don't know, like let's say an enhancement shaman or something like that. So that's the fight. Don't let the boss fill up the room with purple goo, and this boss is dead. So I hope you all enjoyed. I will let the rest of the fight just go ahead and play out naturally. We almost got Forge Weaver Araz down this week, so it's going to be a next week thing, like 31%. What a cool fight. I can't wait to show y'all the POV of it. But thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more content, and I will see you next time. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm out. Peace.
GG.
Dang, 5.2. I'll take that. GG. Easy work. That was a terrible pull for me.